Hello, welcome. Happy Friday to you all. Welcome. This is going to be a way of knowing that this is going to be a very little of a weekend reading, a little bit of a weekend reading. Why? Because let me explain. Is that that's what it has to be. We have to remember that things will change as they go along. Remember that it would be a vice versa thing, and that's how it seems to be. Because, in other words, is that we have to try to figure this out in ways of knowing to be expected. We can do this as vice versa. We can do it as a way of how we feel, the way how we think. And this is like how motivation is the key. Now, motivation is basically, in my own standards, it's very basic. You know, we have to have a me pause situation. That may pause is our whereabouts and whatnot. And we see that in ways where we have to break them to our possibilities. We have to remember that this is going to be a way of how we feel, the way how we think, vice versa. And basically that's what it seems to be, right? So what's going on, Spirit, for the week, for the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of from February 3rd, 4th, and 5th um, to this day. So we're going to figure this out, and we're going to see how this was imposing, and this is how it is. So this is going to be a Friday weekend reading, and it's going to be a small reading, but it's going to be fantastic as well. So basically, without further ado, we will get started, and you will see how this is going to be good. All right. So here we go. So first off, we're going to look at the three cards to see what happens. First, we have, oh wow, the devil is upright. We have the Four of Wands reversed, and we have the Ten of Wands reversed. Yeah, so there's always something in this platform. In a way where, Four of Wands represents you're not traveling, and then you have everything that was right on your back, and now everything is falling behind. You left that pile of, let's say, for example, logs. You forgot the pile of logs, and you should take them with you, but you forgot them, right? Because it's no burden of your spark, which means there's no way of instance where you're gonna be stuck, right? And this card represents a violation. It could be very specifical of that situation, whatnot. And this is what a peeling is, right? It's like peeling an apple or peeling a banana or whatever. It's that way, right? And this is what it seems to be, right? Now in that note, we're going to figure this out. So I already shuffled these. I just want to see who's doing this and what's doing this. All right, so the Knight of Air represents intelligent, deceive, idealistic, tireless. Events that occur with great speed take time to carefully review your options, creative solutions. So basically, that's what it seems to be. Okay, so we have that in that note. Interesting. And what's the card that represents that? Two of Fire, which means you're coming into your own new partnerships or contracts. Continue to move forward. That's what it seems to be. Okay, so we have the air situation, we have fire in this situation. So in that note, we have to remember about why that this seems to be very, very different in this reading. This is a small specific reading, and it kind of gives me attention where there's always a different way of knowing, right? what that means is like when things go a different way, like sideways, you have to interpret them. It's like angles. It's like if this angle is okay and this angle is not, it's like anything can be, falling apart. It's like that. I'll give you an example. It's like playing a game called, let's see, what is that called? Oh, uh, Dominga, like Dominga. The anyway, the tower that you make, and all of a sudden you have to grab piece by piece until it falls, and it's called Dominga, right? Or Kerplunk or something that is. And you know that game Kerplunk, it's a good game to play, right? You can build and then you can just let the tower to fall. And that's what it seems to be. Now, in this reading, that's what kind of occurs. But in a way of how to navigate this situation, who, what, where, when, why, and sometimes how, that's what it seems to be. It's very significant on how this is relating. It's the reading that I'm trying to impose to you, this is what it seems to be. Okay, we have to remember that things can go from right side up to upside down. It could be from you're happy to you're angry like this, crossed arms and won't be talking. It's that, right? Or even like when you go grocery shopping, for example, you go grocery shopping and then all of a sudden you're having a great day and then all of a sudden you're having a bad day because maybe the checkouts or the cashiers or self checkout or one of these things, and you're getting all angry about it and saying, why is it not working? Why I don't have to find this? Why about this? Why about that? And then you say, I can't do it anymore. Well, that's what it is, right? So if you have the situation where the knight of air represents tiredness, tireless, it's like that's what you're feeling like. You're feeling tired. You don't know what to do. And then when you have the two of fire, it says that you have new partnerships, you have or contracts, or and then continue to move to forward. That's what it is, right? And that's what it means where you have to remember that you have to dignify the situation, and this is why life can be easy for everyone, but life can be hard for a lot of people, and it's kind of like giving me a little bit of sadness a little bit because when listen to the news, or if you just watching or seeing homeless people, for example, and they're panhandling, which means money and all that, it's hard for them as well, right? Because they live on the streets and they do mostly bad stuff. But in a way, this is where if you create new ideas, this is what it seems to be because when you think about the violation, or you think about where you're getting mad, when you think about all the negative and all that, it kind of like gives my attention to you. It kind of gives you that pacificness, that's what it seems to be. And that's what it kind of is at the moment. These things will take time. What kind of things I'm talking about is like where the energies are switching day by day, month by month, week by week, and year by year. And that's what it kind of is because you have to remember like who's doing this, what's doing this, who, what, where, when, why, and sometimes how. Is that that's what it is because no one no one needs to be having negative, okay? And negative is a bad place to be. I've been there sometimes, and maybe a lot of you are being that sometimes. But you have to remember that you can't always be happy. You can't always be angry. You can't, like you can't. Those are two opposites. You can be happy in some ways. You can't be happy in some ways, which means there are two different differences. See how I go there? Yes. Because that's what it seems to be. And when you think about that, it's like when you have a good day, rather than having a bad day, then you have to remember how that is. Things can be going from different ways as what they are and what they are expected, but you have to remember that there's always, uh, I don't know, there's always, um, find a solution to solve a problem. That's what it is, okay? Because that's what it seems to be. Because we have fire signs and air signs in this situation, you know, and that's what it seems to be. Now we're going to see who's following you in this situation. Like I say, this is not a long video. This is just a almost like a small video, but you can watch this when you get a chance to. And this is what it seems to be. So we're going to figure this out. And basically, while you look at this, this is the Queen of Hearts, which means it is water signs. It would be Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer in this situation. So you have air signs, you have fire signs, you have water signs in this situation. So if you think about this as a way of how you feel, the way how you act, that's what it seems to be. Promises are promises. That's what they are. And basically, I'll do one more oracle card reading, and then we'll be done with this. Okay, so let's see what's going on, and let's see. And we have the 9 card. It represents the 9 of spades, but basically in that note will be, if it's Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius in that situation, because that's what your air sign is. But we're going to figure out what the 9 card represents. So let's see. Okay, so the 9 is represents banquet. That's what this card means. But it says for timing from the 21st to the 31st of March. So this is going to be next month. That's going to come up. Okay, this is what it seems to be now, because that's what it kind of is. You're trying to figure out what's going on. Traveling is not your issue. You don't feel burning anymore, but you have the Knight of Air and the two of Air at the moment, right? So that's what it seems to be, and that represents, for advice, is this: always think positively and fight uncertainties and fears. Noble improvement is already underway. That's what it seems to be. Um, Basically, it could be the spread of the year. So number C, it's a difficult month, especially for economic security, full of rivalry, setbacks, unpleasant news. A debt makes you cut back and save, so which means you could be waiting for that. It could be, there's lots of other stuff that's going to be going on. Um, oh, it's there is uh, like position 1 for the past from the money situation. This is for letter D. It says After ending up without any money, getting back on your feet is tiring and difficult. That's what it seems to be. That's what it kind of is at the moment. That's what kind of that is at the moment. So that's what it seems to be. And what the dice are saying for your situation? 1166. So which means it's 12. So you have January and December, and then you have I think it's Sagittarius and Capricorn in that situation. If you do that, those are could be in your houses. You could look it up on the houses situation. You could be 61 years old, you could be 16 years old, you could be 12 years old, you could be 2 years old. Whatever those numbers are, keep that in mind. I will post um, basically the letters in the description box below. And before, one more thing about this reading is that you have to remember that things will take time. You have to remember that this will switch any day now. You don't know what could happen next. But that's what it seems to be. Okay? You have to remember that when you think about this as a way known reading, if you're getting tired, if you don't know what else to do, take a step back. Take a step back until you get what you want. That's all it is, right? Because one way or another, you will say to yourself, saying, okay, I know what Zoya Alex is talking about. That's what it seems to be, okay? This is how you understand what the process is. You can understand how it feels like and whatnot. So if you think about this, thank you very much. And remember to subscribe to my channel. And I'll have you a good day and see you later. Thank you and have a nice day to you all. Bye for now. Bye.